Now is the great Brian Kilmeade, co-host of Fox and Friends, host of One Nation with Brian Kilmeade and the Brian Kilmeade Radio Show, and author of the very fine book, The President and the Freedom Fighter. Welcome back, Brian. You're terrific to do this.
Thank you.
Kim
Republicans on the cover of that book, by the way.
Kim Strassler wrote it to take the win. Trump suggested take the win. It looks like they're finally taking the win. What do you make of this change today?
Just, I mean, it's pretty dramatic stuff. They want to change a lot that goes on with the House. Some of it's back to the future when they want to have their appropriations bill voted on one by one, all 12 of them. Okay, fine. They want to make sure that if there's an open seat, a Republican seat, there's a likely Republican seat. They don't want leadership putting their finger on the scale, hand on the scale with money. Okay, I get that.
Back money.
I get they want to have two members of the Freedom Caucus on the Rules Committee. Maybe they'll get three. We'll see. And I see this stuff working out. The thing that bothers me is evidently they agreed to no longer increase defense from 22 to 23, which means you're losing money in defense at a time in which China and the challenges overseas. If you're going to cut, maybe if Republicans aren't going to go back for defense, we're doomed, because Democrats love cutting defense. That's what they use as leverage. But I understand this is what we're at right now.
Can I make just one little addition point on that point? Two things. Number one, the Defense Department, which is so important, peace through strength, I learned that from Reagan over 40 years ago, nonetheless has its own share of bloat. Just want to put that in. In the 1990s, when Newt Gingrich was Speaker, they did some paring without damaging our national security. But second, Brian, technically, you're going to have regular order now for the first time in a long time. In other words, part of the deal, we're going to have Dan Bishop on, part of the deal that Kevin McCarthy made specifically is a budget resolution and then regular order, 12 appropriation bills in 12 committees. So what I'm saying is the Armed Services Committee in the House will have its own set of hearings with costs and policies to determine the budget. So the idea that you'll be level at 2022, it's a sentiment. It really won't stand the test of law.
So you're not going to have
their own.
So in your experience, you're not going to have somebody go, "Excuse me, 8 months ago, Mr. Speaker, you promised to keep defense spending flat. Therefore, now I want to go have a vote whether you can keep the job." That's
Well, I don't know what the nature of the promise was.
Let's see what the words say.
All right, that's going to be very important. But again, as far as I can tell, and we've interviewed so many of them, and we had Scott Perry of the Freedom Caucus on last night, who was absolutely terrific in my view. But everybody, Jim Jordan on down, wants regular order.
Okay.
Wants the committees to have the power and make the appropriations process, incidentally, on non-budget items as well. So at this point, I mean, I have my own concerns about some of these so-called deals, but I'm not so worried about that one.
All right. So the way I understand it, and you got to do the math, the algebra, which you guys are better at over here. But the way I understand it, we're getting Buck and Hunter coming back tonight, which changes the total to 216. Because of that, you have 6 people that did not vote for McCarthy. It is Biggs, Crane, Boebert, Rosendale, Good, and Gates. You need 3 of the 6 to say present or I'm not showing up. I'm going to hang out at the Capitol Grill. So, and then if they don't show up, it's over. But the people that deserve the most credit, and I know your source is as good as anybody, Scott Perry and Chip Roy. They went in, they were against
Dan Bishop.
And Dan Bishop. They went in and said, listen, I've been anti-McCarthy, but only for him to change. Shows me there's a reasonableness to it. Finally, it happened, I think, on Special Report 2 nights ago. Chip Roy goes, okay, I'll tell you exactly what I need. And he listed it, finally, instead of, I just don't like the way things are done. I don't like the omnibus bill. I found that unbelievably frustrating because Ken McCarthy had nothing to do, as you know, with the omnibus bill. They don't like stuff in his past, so address in his past. And 4 years ago, I felt like he was going along with Paul Ryan. I didn't like it, and I wasn't okay. Deal with it. You're men, all right? You're in the majority. Like you said, take the win. So that's just it. I saw a huge change today. They were going to vote as a block, Ken Buck said, and that this time they broke, and it went from 19 to 7 to 6. 10 o'clock tonight, he should be Speaker. And I'm curious to see if this is for the greater good, or is he in a straitjacket? What do you think?
I think that the great New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones
Now he's great.
will use
You wouldn't even give him a contract extension before the season started.
A few weeks ago, he was okay. Now he's great.
Right.
Using his legs will do a long end-around quarterback run into the end zone. That's how I see it.
You just want to see the score. You don't care how it happens.
I don't care.
But see,
In
after
fact,
the
I don't
game,
even
I'm
wanna
worried about
know
the
how
post-game show.
I don't even want to know how it happens.
Right. See, I'm worried about them not being able to do
And
anything.
Jones may not even play against Philadelphia.
I think there'll be a mistake.
He may not.
Do you remember the game plan that the Giants, when they beat the Patriots, who were undefeated, they played all their starters, even though
By the way, that's
they
a
had
great
locked.
point.
Yeah,
and
even
they
though
lost by 1 point, but it was a prelude to winning the.
they let the Patriots know we can play with you.
All right. Well,
So I think Tom Coughlin should make sure that Daniel Jones and everybody at least plays 3 quarters.
Look, I think Kevin McCarthy is going to play 4 quarters.
He has to.
He's got to play 4 quarters
Right.
because here's the thing. As I mentioned in my riff, they got their work to do. I mean, they will have a chance to exercise the power of the purse, to give the committees power, not just the Speaker's office, which was a big part of this Freedom Caucus revolt, to give oversight power, stop that nonsense, to go after these this regulatory assault, these numbers that came out in this morning's Washington
No one's
Times,
talking about it.
Unbelievable. That's why I wanted to put them up on the full screen.
Isn't that why you guys seem to do so well?
Yes.
And almost surprise
Yes.
people by you just unchain people?
Yes.
And just said, go ahead, we're not going to stop you unless we have to.
You know, Trump used to always argue that the regulatory cuts were as important, if not more, than the tax cuts.
Right.
All right. I don't even want to debate that because they're both terribly important. Biden's tried to reverse all of it, and the House will have a chance with the power of the purse and the REINS Act and some other things to stop it. I don't know that they can undo everything, but they can stop it, and that's very important.
Well, I also think if you're going to put together legislation, even if you think it's going to die in the House, be persuasive. You want to do immigration reform? Let's see it. Spell it out. Explain it to everybody. Sell it. And this way, if the Senate flips, America's going to know what they're voting for. So go ahead and tell me what you're doing in the Senate, in the House, and even if you think it's going to die in the Senate, go ahead and push it forward.
That's right.
Because you never know. You might get a Joe Manchin in cinema to join
That's
you.
a great point. Right. Exactly. Stand up,
Yeah.
okay, and throw it out there. At least tell people what you believe. Message clearly. I mean, I think they got to go for what I call a pro-growth balanced budget. I think that is essential. And they will have guardrails on spending. A 3/5 majority, incidentally, to stop tax increases, which I just love. So it's all good. The game's not over. But are you, as you've covered this, reporting and so forth, A, are you surprised? And B, do you think this is a good outcome, a positive outcome?
But I'm waiting till 10 o'clock. But let's say in theory that they do everything at 10. By the way, for the record, Pete Hegseth owes me a dinner at Del Frisco's if this happens, because he didn't believe it was passing. He thinks he knows everything. We'll talk about that later.
Invite me. I
Right.
would love to heckle him.
Right, and he'll have to pay because he'll feel guilty.
We went to the same institution of lower learning,
Right.
so I would love to be part
Please
of that.
don't burn
heckling.
your diploma like he did. But here's the thing, Larry. Here's the thing that bothers me. I don't want to get a fundraising letter because you stood up to Kevin McCarthy. Boebert's camp has sent me 2 or 3. They want to raise money, as does Gates.
Really?
That to me is a total insincerity. They go, well, we're taking on McCarthy. I need money. You need money to fight your own party?
That is stupid.
See,
I
that
didn't
to
know
me,
that.
that's not sincere.
That
Chip
is
Roy
re-
is sincere.
Yeah,
Perry is sincere.
Yep.
Because that's the change you want. When you're just pumping out rhetoric and giving campaign speeches on the House floor at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, after you just won an election 2 weeks ago,
That is
you're
awful.
wasting my time.
That's the worst thing I've heard today. Honestly, I did not know that. Anyway, we got to get out. The producers are yelling. But I'm going to tell you,
You're Larry Kudlow. You could make these decisions.
Daniel Jones using those legs. It's that quarterback end around into the end.
But you know what worries me?
That's what
when you send
McCarthy's
people,
done.
when you send quarterbacks into traffic to get first downs, right? I'm glad you have a back. That kind of bothers me because as big and strong as he is.
I only need him for a couple more games. Brian Kilmeade, hardest working guy there ever is, and the smartest
Little
reporter
football,
there ever is.
a little football, a little house.
Yeah, I love to talk football.
Right. This is jazz. This is business news jazz.
And the nation praying that Buffalo Bills kid
Yep.
recovers. I like that part of the
Right.
story.
That is the lead of One Nation on
the
Saturday night at
nation.
8.
Oh, good for you.
Absolutely.
Good for you. Terrific stuff. All right, folks, that's the great Brian Kilmeade.